During your XC flight on a paraglider, conditions can change from absolutely beautiful to very difficult. How can you adapt your flying style and even save your flight? Welcome to the Paragliding XC Stories. This story is about my flight from Kösen, Austria, when conditions changed dramatically during the flight. Together with a couple of friends, I fly the so-called small Pinzgau route from Kösen to the Hochkönig mountain, further along the main Alpine divide in the Salzach Valley, better known as Pinzgau, and finally back to the takeoff. Before we start, if you want to join my Telegram group, where the fellow pilots share their experiences and ask me questions, you can find the link in the video description. So, let's get started. We take off from the higher lounge in Kösen because the sky is pretty covered with clouds and we want to get to the southern slopes as soon as possible. This pays off and I get a nice climb right away. I have to catch up with my friends who have already crossed the valley because I lost a lot of time at the takeoff due to the constantly changing wind. Even though the sky is pretty covered, you can see a lot of thermal clouds everywhere, because the air is very unstable. This helps us a lot. The climb is strong enough for me to catch up with my friends. By the way, if you are wondering why there are 2 km gauges in the upper left corner of the screen, the one in the circle shows the actual flight length and the small gauge above it shows the route performance as calculated by X-Contest. It will eventually change from free flight to an FAI triangle. Keep an eye on that. Crossing Lofer is easy this time and the conditions are getting better and better. Look at those clouds and look at my average XC speed in the upper left corner. What a great day to fly! That will change soon, but for now, just enjoy the effortless flying. We start to worry as we fly over this ridge. Not a single thermal, it's very unusual. I catch a small bubble, but it disappears quickly. Now the main task is to regain some altitude, so we switch from race mode to survival mode, patiently and carefully looking for thermals. This slope doesn't work, so I jump to the next one, crossing a lee side. The lee side thermal isn't strong enough. Here, together with my friend, I work this weak thermal in survival mode. Unfortunately, my friend decides to leave it and search for a stronger one. This turns out to be a critical mistake, because he cannot find another thermal in this area and is forced to land below this slope. This is usually my behavior. I tend to leave thermals early in search of better lift, but today I'm lucky enough to keep myself from running away from the rescue lift. Patience pays off, so I'm back on track and ready to move on. Here's a tricky one. Where do you think that thermal cloud is coming from? Like that? Nope. Look at how fast it drifted away to the left. It appears that the picture could look like this. This is why I fly directly over the ridge for as long as I can, to catch the lift from either side and then check which way the thermal is drifting. Remember that thermal that drifted a lot in the seemingly wrong direction. Look, it is raining here, so I guess that rain cloud just pushed the cold air and changed the wind direction down the slopes. Now the conditions are getting worse. The whole valley is covered with clouds. I work a thermal from the last sunny spot, but what do we do next? Sorry for the raindrops in the picture. The ridge stops working, so we lose all our height. I want to go further west, where we saw some sunspots before. But now I get critically low and have to switch back to survival mode. My friend is lucky enough to be a bit higher, so he catches a thermal and can continue. I'm stuck here for now. My decision is to stay here, maintain altitude and wait for a sunspot. Remember, the air is quite unstable, so a tiny trigger should be enough to get a bubble up and rising. Yep, there's a sunspot and magic, I'm climbing fast. Patience pays off again in this flight. Let's keep going. Sorry for the raindrops in the picture again. Leaving the Pinzgau and the conditions are perfect again, so fast. You see, even the next valley can have completely different weather in the mountains. Passing Kitzbühel, the start of the Red Bull X Alps. I'm climbing before the last big crossing of the flight. Here I have to decide whether to go left, right or straight. All three options can work, so I choose the middle one. I see a moving cloud shadow and want to use it as a thermal trigger. Unfortunately, the headwind from that valley is too strong, so I have to look for other options. This weak thermal in the middle of the valley disappears and the valley wind is too weak to soar up this slope, so there is nothing else I can do. I land on a field on the other side of the mountain I took off from. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to show how the conditions changed during my cross-country flight and how I changed my flying style to adapt. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me via my socials. You can find the links in the video description. See you in the next story!